full potential? The Life Coach is your guide to unlocking your true self. Join us each week as we explore topics like overcoming self-doubt, building healthy habits, finding your passion, developing meaningful relationships, achieving your goals. The Life Coach features insightful teachings with Segun Olugbemi, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you live a more fulfilling life. Tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. on all our social platforms to discover your inner strength and create the life you truly desire. The Life Coach, your journey to a better you starts now.
Hello, welcome back to the Life Coach. And we were unable to finish the last session. And what happened was that I had to break because our time was gone. But I'm trying to see the possibility of us understanding the details. I think this probably going to be my last session on this burnout recovery. Is important because if you learn these strategies, you'll be out of burnout. I'm passionate about it because I believe in you. I believe in your calling. I believe in your purpose. I believe you're here for a reason. And it might just be to lift me up. It might be to be there to cheer me on. It might be just to say some things into my life. Yes, it's so essential. You know, I've heard many preachers say something, very funny story in the Bible. I mean, a character in the Bible called Methuselah. According to biblical account, he was the man that lived the oldest, 969 years. And then we say all that we heard about the man is that he lived old, he had sons and daughters, and he died. I said, look, life is more than living old. Well, that's true. Actually, the value of your life is not in duration, but in donation. It's in how much you donate that life to bless others. The quality of your life is not how long you live. It's how well, how efficient, how effective it was. Okay? But then, if you see that man, you know that he had a purpose. Because he was the son of Enoch, who was a grandfather, who later became the grandfather, and he later became grandfather of of Noah. And Noah was going to bring about, building of the ark. But Noah lived with this old man, with his grandfather, for over 170 some years. So anything he knew about Enoch, the flood that was coming and everything, which Enoch saw in his vision before he was taken up, it was Methuselah that taught him. Your job may just be to mentor a young man that will become our president. Your job may be to raise those young entrepreneurs and governors. Your job may be to just raise, a couple of people who will just turn things around. That might just be your work. So that's why I'm passionate about burnout. Don't try to help others, and at the end, you will no longer have you here with us. All right? Okay. So the last thing I'm trying to talk about now is to remember what makes you happy. About the second to last thing, I will explain others as I go on. Remember what makes you happy. Severe burnout can drain you and make it hard for you to even remember what you used to enjoy. And I say this today, we all have something we enjoy. I love to garden. I love to take care of animal husbandry. I love it. I love just to play with some person. I love to be around nature, to be in a park and just be among nature. I love that. But when you are severely burned out, you no longer know what you want. They ask you, what is your best meal? I don't know. What do you want to relax? I don't know. What is it that will relax you? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what I want. I hear that a lot. People say, I don't know what I want. I don't know. I don't even know what is wrong with me. They are going through burnout. Severe burnout can drain you that much. You may have lost your passion for your career. Career that you once loved. You may feel angry and resentful very easily when you get to work each day. Perhaps you no longer care about your favorite hobbies, or you have stopped responding to text messages from friends and family just because you lack energy for conversation. You're just tired. And you don't want to be there. You don't want to. That's draining. I was talking to some doctors and they say one of the silent killers that can do that and that can kill so fast is exhaustion. As soon as you're experiencing burnout, you are getting close to exhaustion. You are getting exhausted. Mentally, you'll be exhausted. You'll be fagged out. Depression is at it all. And when you get to the last stage of depression, you just sleep and then you may never wake up. We may never know what has happened. So you need to wake up and take your life seriously. You might even feel perpetually irritated, or you snap at your partner or family without meaning to do that. And you may not even have any reasons why you do that. You just find yourself just upset. To counter these feelings, create a list of things that bring you joy. It might include things like, sit down. What is it I love? What gives me joy? What do I like to eat? Where do I like to visit? I met a man who has become a very good friend, I think about 2 or 3 years ago in Budapest, Hungary. And he became my friend. We went out to a restaurant to eat in the night, and as we were going to take our meal, and he happened to be a very short man, just less than 5 feet, very short, immediate, and very funny man. He speaks German, English, French, Hungarian, and other things. Anyway, we met with this man, and my good friend is become my friend now, and lovely man. So I stood behind him to read the menu, and then he looked back and looked at me up. And this man is 77 right now, so you can tell. So we have at least over a decade between us. And he looked back and looked at me, and I say, I know you want to read this, and I know you are eager to see this, but I'm telling you, I'm going to hold you here till tomorrow when I'm going to eat. And we all laughed. But I was actually reading over his head, and we all laughed. And then we moved to another place, and he came to where we went, and we all both ordered a meal, and it was a German restaurant too. And another son of my spiritual son also was speaking German, and we started sharing. And I said to my team, I love this man. I don't know why. I love him. They said, take your things. You are the oldest person in our team. Take your things. Go join him already. So I went and joined him, and I asked him, sorry, please, can I join you too? Please come already. And then we started sharing. And I said, how is your wife? And he said, I lost my wife 20 years ago. And then tears ran down his eyes. He said, but you know why I'm here tonight? I said, why? He said, everywhere I've traveled to all around the world with my wife, I travel there and I go to the restaurants we've been to together and I eat. It gives me joy. I'm happy. You need to know where you need to go, where you go that gives you joy. Where do you recalibrate? Where do you feel at home? Where do you feel loved? Where do you feel enamored with nature? Where do you feel, I think I'm in a good place. I'm home here. Okay? Maybe long, so you need to think that it may take, long walks to your best friend's home. That may be it, or long walks with your best friend. That might be it. Then taking your child to a park might be it. Reading a book, in a bathtub might be it. I love reading in the bathtub. I enjoy staying. In fact, as a matter of fact, as a rule, when I travel and I'm coming home, the first thing to greet me outside of the people, they make sure they set my bed, they change all the bedspread, they clean the toilet, and they use the air spray. Everywhere smells fresh. They say this is how Daddy loves it when he comes home. Okay, so maybe reading a book, maybe listening to story times, watching a movie, whatever it is, find out what those things are. So make time for these activities every week and keep this habit up, even after you feel like you are recovering now or you're becoming more like yourself. Do you understand me? I care about you. And imbibe this. You are one less person we need to worry about your mental state. Can I tell you something? In the last 7 years, I've dealt with pastors, I've dealt with women, married women, couples that are dealing with depression. I meet pastors that are suicidal. I meet couples that have given up. But I was able to help many of them because they listen to this counsel. There's a particular guy who was very violent against his wife. He lost that marriage. And the family moved out of the country. He didn't have access to them. And he said to me, and I told him, instead of resorting to violence, you could have done better. Think of how to use your life. And he went already in his 40s. He went in, he sat for it's not GED, he called here, WAEC or GC. He sat for NECO, sat for this exam, he made it, he went to the university, he had a first degree, had a second degree, and just a week ago, he called me. He said, hello, sir, this is so-and-so speaking. I want to talk to you about something. I said, what is it? He said, I have defended my PhD thesis. I'm now a doctor. He said, I am Dr. So-and-so. I said, are you being serious? He said, you did it because you told me what I need to do. You talked to me. You told me to go pick the pieces of my life. I've done it. And now I knew what I was doing wrong. Now I'm a different person. You know, you can always bounce back if you learn to take some steps backward. Okay? So let me advise you a couple of things you need to learn to do by yourself as you continue with your life. Okay? Let's see. Number one, even when you have recovered, make sure you practice your sleep. Be sure you catch your sleep when you need to. If you're an early nighter, make sure you get to bed on time. Sleep. Drop everything, sleep, you wake up to do other things. If you are a late sleeper, make sure you get to bed when you need to go. But sleep well. The next thing, exercise. Exercise. Make sure you look for an exercise that will be okay for you. Swimming, jogging, snowballing, whatever it is, and whatever it is. Just do that. Football, whatever. Do something that is okay for you. Ask for help. Form a habit of asking for help. Don't wait until you are grounded. Don't wait until you fall and you're falling apart and you're broken pieces before you ask for help. Always ask people to come in when they can help you to lessen your pressure. Then, box breathing. Learn to breathe in and out. Learn to take time to do this breathing exercise to relax your muscles. Then develop daily strategies to prevent burnout. Make sure you write out, these are the things, and practice it. And if you do follow the 10,000 hour rules, which is 21 days, is the law of incubation. If you practice anything for 10,000 hours, what we call the law of incubation, you practice anything for 21 days, it becomes a habit. That's the 21 days that a hen, will stay on its egg and they will hatch after 21 days. If you practice anything for 21 days, it becomes a habit. So learn to practice this and make a habit of it. And number 6 is developing coping strategies or coping skills. Know what helps you to cope with pressure. When there's much, if it is just standing up and walking about, another thing, know when to do that. If it is listening to music, I say to people around me, if you upset me, if you don't do things, just go get some beautiful music I love, and I'm just going to lift up my hands and I will close my eyes. And then the whole thing will be a thing of the past. Because I love music. I love relaxing with music. Beautiful worship songs. I love some good music. I love inspirational music. We played a song which we're going to get copyright for to be able to use on our products. Which is Aina Menzel and Define Gravity. I love the inspiration that I don't want to play by someone else's game's rule. I just want to defy gravity. And if you're a naysayer, just check me out. If you don't know what has happened to me, I've already defied gravity. I've flown. All right? So develop daily strategy, your exit strategy from burnout. Developing coping skills is also important. What are the things you do to cope so that you don't burn out? Eliminate your stressors. What are the things that are adding stresses to you every day? Try to eliminate them. Maintain your social life. Refuse to not have a life outside of work or outside your religious life. Have some social life. Socialize with some people. Sit down with them. Talk. Laugh. Go to picnic. Just do something. Whenever I travel to countries, I try to go to landmarks. I said, where the landmark here? I want to go there. Not for just photo ops. I want to take a deep breath. I want to look at the area. I want to see the history of that place. And it's very refreshing. Learn to meditate. Learn to think. Learn to relax yourself. Think on life. Play back again all that has happened. to see life, the things you've learned over time in the day you heard from wise people, learn and learn and learn. And number 10, reframe your mindset. Reframe your mindset. Know that the world can exist without you in a jiffy. The world can exist without you. They will forget about you like that. I told you in the previous episode, I'm telling you, they will forget without you. Do you understand what I'm saying? They can just turn this whole thing out and just no 1 minute silence had ever been full 1 minute. I think the ones I've seen that maybe in the US or in Israel. Otherwise, when they say 1 minute silent, especially in Africa, 1 minute silent, 50 seconds, may his soul rest in perfect peace. And the following day, they announce your replacement. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I hope you can get this. Now, another thing you need to do is, I don't know what number is this. Talk to people you trust. I mentioned that to you, and then that you need to talk to people you trust. I mentioned to you how you need to talk to families. You need to trust them and share with them, and let's see what happens, how they can open up new vistas you may never have seen before. You have to work with people that are helping you. I've talked about that. I'm just trying to recap. Your therapist, talk to your therapist, talk to your counselor. Recently, someone called me and told me by the time this person was done talking to me, I felt this person was going through burnout. And when he said it, and I said, do you know the first thing to do? Your boss is not going to understand. Your staff won't understand. Others won't understand. What they're going to say is that you're running away, you're messing up this, you're doing this, you're doing that. You know what to do? Tell them you want to go on a break. Tell them you want to have a retreat time. Tell them you want to go pray. Tell them you want to go rest. Tell them you have some issues you need to handle. You just your mental state. Tell them you just want to deal with some issues that when you are done, you come back. Then it gives you opportunity to take a dispassionate issue at life and look at the issue, because very often when you are involved, you have what we call blind spot. The blind spots are areas of your life, relationships, work, and all that in your environment, whereby you are too close to see that those things are not in place. We all do have blind spots. Like you're driving, the area behind your back, you are not able to see while you are driving. And those blind spots in our life can become major drawback. Therefore, what do? Step out of the situation momentarily. Then focus. Look at it and say, now that this thing is like this, what am I going to do differently? What am I doing right now that is wrong? Sometimes they point it to you and you're angry that people are even checking you. But when you get out and then you look at this situation dispassionately, then you say, but why was like this? You know, I shared something. My older brother lost his wife, and he's been a caregiver. He was a caregiver for 8 years. And that was tasking. And we went through, it was a difficult time. Now, the wife is very down, the memory service and everything. And then we had to say, okay, you need to go do some medical checkup. And he came to stop by me to spend about a week and a half or thereabout. And then he says to me, brother, do you know what happened to me? I said, what? He said, in the last 8 years, some of the best sleep I've ever had is right in your house. And then when he sleeps, he wakes up, he said, Pastor, can I tell you something? I said, what is it? He said, when I woke up this morning, I felt better than I've ever felt. I don't know why, but every day I sleep, it seems sleep is therapeutic for me. I do sleep back home, but I don't feel as healed, as healthy as I'm feeling now. You know, just stepping out, just getting out of his comfort zone, getting into a different environment with sharing. And then he said to me, do you know when, one day I called him, I said, how are you dealing with your grief? How are you recovering? And then he said he was fine. Then the following day, I delayed because I usually call him twice or thrice a day. So this day, it was about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. I've not called him to ask, how are you feeling today? And then he called me. Oh, Pastor, how are you? I said, I'm fine, brother. I'm fine, sir. And he said, I just want to know how you're doing. I said, okay, drop your call. Let me call you back. I called him back. We spoke for 1 hour, 15 minutes. 1 hour, 15 minutes. My brother just wanted to find out how I was doing. And he had to find out 1 hour, 15 minutes. No, he needed somebody to talk to. By the time he was done, he said, thank you for giving me a listening ear. I just needed to talk. and you gave me 1 hour, 15 minutes of your time, carrying the cost on your phone and all that, but I'm feeling better. You need to talk to counselors, friends, family, therapists, and all that. I told you that burnout can provoke helplessness and hopelessness and lead to depression. And it is important you talk to a therapist if you must. And when you're feeling hopeless, when you're persistently in low mood, you feel like hurting yourself, you need to talk to somebody. I said you should reset yourself. You need to reset yourself after burnout, begin to reset. I told you need to examine your options by addressing burnout, addressing the cause of burnout. It doesn't come sometimes straightforward, but you need to begin to look. Part of it is to take a vacation, some days off, a week off, and look at the situation properly, dispassionately, so you can determine why you got into burnout. And then I told you also the need to probably look for another job, or you need to just get out of this. Talk to a counselor, talk to a friend. Don't go to your critics who will run you down, and look for a closer relationship that will help you. And in short, when you give everything you have and you still feel it's not enough, talk to somebody. Sometimes, like I said, just knowing that there are rules to escape burnout will help you. Okay? We still talk about taking back control of your life. And we talk about the need for you to take back control. We talk about you prioritizing your life. We talk about you making sure that you focus only on things you must do, and then try to learn to delegate. Delegate to people. Delegate everything you can't do. Delegate to people. Everything you can't do for yourself, delegate to people. And leave work at work. Leave work at work is part of burnout recovery strategy. There's this temptation to carry work home. I always say to my wife, my home is my comfort zone. It's not a battle line. It's not a battlefield. So if everywhere is not battlefront, if you want to stress me, through any call and others, I just say, sorry, can we talk about it tomorrow? I do not want you to stress me, because my home is a recovery place for me. When I walk out there, I come back home to recover. So be firm about your needs. Talk to others who are involved, and make sure that silence doesn't cure diseases, or most diseases, silence will not cure it. Remember that no one will notice what you do in the dark. So turn on the light. Turn on the light. I told you, set boundaries. Set limits on yourself, accept what you accept and what you won't accept, and then do your pushback button. I told you to take a moment to walk. If you need to walk away from situation, ask yourself if you really have time and energy to take on more responsibilities. And I spoke to you I talk about practice self-compassion, reaching to a point of burnout, and feeling of loss of purpose and direction might not help you. So when you reach that point of burnout, learn to have self-compassion. Ask yourself, if your friend comes to talk to you, what are you going to do? You offer him compassion. You tell him you're a good man. You are not, that you couldn't do that doesn't mean you're a failure. You say things to him. So don't run yourself down just because you can't do things you should have done. Pay attention to your own needs. I said, check your mental health. You need it. I was talking to somebody, and they said, how old are you? You are now in your 40s. I said, have you ever checked your glucose level? You don't monitor it. Have you ever checked your blood pressure? He said, just when I visit hospital, I said, you're not helping yourself. Change your lifestyle now. Begin to adapt this. I said, go do this, go do that, and this, go this. I said, thank you, sir. I never knew I had any issue until you told me that. These things are always there. Pay attention to yourself. All right? Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to your own needs. Spend time with your loved one, do the right things, and remember what makes you happy. Severe burnout can drain you. Be careful. You may lose your passion, you may lose interest, you may lose idea of what makes you happy. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Watch your back and help yourself so you can live long enough to fulfill the reason God sent you here. Take a walk if you need, take a vacation, leave a job, get a new job, get a good sleep, exercise, ask for help if you must, develop daily strategies to prevent it, develop coping strategy, eliminate stressors and all that, so that at the end of your life, you'll grow old, you'll make impact, and your impact will be left on the sand of times. Thank you for joining us again on this episode. And this is the concluding episode on recovery from burnout and strategies to eliminate them. I encourage you to watch all the other episodes if you missed this, and try to share the link with others. Bring them on the platform. And if you have any question, you're going to see at the foot of all the teachings, you're going to see our contact, our social media, and telephone and email. Let's talk together. Let's dialogue. And if we can help you, we'll be most willing to help you. God bless you.
Remember, your journey of self-discovery is a continuous one. Embrace the challenges, celebrate your successes, and never stop believing in your ability to grow. Thank you for listening to The Life Coach. Until next week, Friday, by 8 p.m., live a life filled with